Yeah, I mean, the finish that we had last year, the guys that we had to replace due to injury, guys, stepping up into major roles. Just from the beginning of last year through the end of it, I thought we grew, not just as a team, but as a program, what to expect, what our standards are, what you have to do to prepare to be at those standards. And that propelled us into the offseason in a very positive way. I think the guys were excited to get back in the weight room in December and roll right out all the way through our summer conditioning program as well. So very positive that way. Obviously losing around 30 guys to graduation and not only the number of guys, but the amount of production that we lost with the guys that graduated and left the program. Never easy, but everybody in the country is dealing with some loss in some ways. Some have more, some have less, whatever. But so we're excited about 2025. The talent that we have that's been growing up in our program, whether they're going into their third or fourth year or guys that are, first and second year guys, we like what we have in our locker room right now. The energy has been great in camp. And, we're excited to see those guys step into, bigger roles this year and try to keep this thing moving forward. I kind of feel like that's the same as production on the field. I think when people leave the program with graduation, the voices that people had heard for 3 and 4 years are leaving with it. There's different guys that need to step up into those roles that, were in leadership roles in the past, but maybe didn't say as much because other guys were taking care of it. That's all part of camp. You get the new guys in the building, get them acclimated to how we do things here. You start to see some of the new voices taking over. And, that's just as exciting as anything else that we have is to kind of see where that leadership is coming from. Right now, some of it is expected. Others are a surprise that they're stepping into that role. And, I think anytime you have a group of guys that are doing the right things, it makes it a little bit easier to hold people accountable with their voice at that point. And that hasn't been any different this year. We've got guys stepping up into those roles, regardless of what position they are or year that they are in school. 2.5 years ago when the transition happened and, the standard was set, the guys kind of jumped on board with where we were going with the culture in our locker room and so on. So that's been kind of amped up to a whole new level now. I think, you tie for third in this league in 2024. The guys understand how close we were and how competitive we were a year ago. I think that amps up the expectations within our locker room moving forward, and I think that's a positive thing. Yeah, it's been great energy. The guys came back with the right mentality, in shape. The off-season conditioning program went well. So now it's, on the whole program as a whole, coaches, players, whatever, getting the young guys and the transfers acclimated into our systems, getting the guys that maybe had no playing experience, those valuable reps that they're going to need to step into those roles. And then, of course, anytime you're replacing the amount of guys we're replacing defensively in a brand new queue, making sure that as we're installing things, we're getting them the looks that they need at game speed so that when, Bemidji shows up, it's not the first time they're seeing live bullets. We're obviously trying to get teams within our region, scheduling D2 opponents that make sense from a travel standpoint, competitive level, so on and so forth, is first and foremost. Obviously, living where we live, getting people to agree to a home and a home with us with our location has not been easy, but we've got a good relationship with Bemidji built. A couple contracts signed with them. Upper Iowa we went to 2 years ago, and they'll return that trip this year. Hillsdale's always had a good relationship with us, so the guys coming back, with the non-conference thing, you go 4 weeks with a bye week before we get to league play, which is what everybody wants to talk about. But you open up right out of the gates with a top 25 team that's been deep into the playoffs the last couple of years. So our focus right now is on that week 1 game. We don't have any let's get our feet wet per se type games on our schedule. So the focus in meetings, in our walkthroughs, in practice, the energy, our guys understand what's at stake right from the get-go with that week 1 opponent coming to our place. So, we have not had to have a whole lot of tugging to keep them focused in what we're doing. They're ready to go with that right from the get-go. So that's been a positive deal as well. Anytime the season comes around, you're excited to get back into it. But, the amount of guys that we have, they're going to be stepping into roles this year, losing what we lost last year. It's always exciting to see, the talent that you've been growing up in your program finally get a chance to get on the field on Saturdays and show what they can do. So, every new team brings new capabilities in terms of positions. So our systems aren't going to change a ton, but we'll have a couple different looks at, you do every year with the different bodies and adjustments that you make to their talent. So, our message since December when we broke last year's team has consistently been to raise that bar a little bit and see if we can take this to a higher level, not go backwards just because we lost a bunch of guys. Everybody in our program understands what we lost last year. They also know what's expected of them moving forward, and we are not going to use excuses of being immature at some positions or lack of depth at others. We knew what we were getting into. That's on our staff to get those guys prepped and ready to go, as much as it is the guys that know they're jumping in those roles to be ready physically and mentally as well. So excited for the challenge and really looking forward to see what these younger guys are going to do on the field.